How's it going, everyone? Thanks so much for tuning in. Fairly recently, I uploaded an in-depth review and test drive of the 2015 XKR-S Coupe, but luckily Scott Jaguar in Charlotte, North Carolina have been very generous to invite us down to get an up-close and personal in-depth look and a chance to take a drive in the XKR-S GT, a race-spec version, very limited production of the XKR-S that, believe it or not, is even harder core than that model. It's going to be very exciting. As always, guys, this is going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the Jaguar XKR-S GT. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip, go over the performance data, take a test drive, and show you many of the unique aspects of both the interior as well as exterior. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on in, start it up, let it run. The GT was only available in Polaris White and features a host of unique graphics amongst its bespoke bodywork. Inside you'll find the RS Performance seats with a combination of warm charcoal carbon effect and soft grain leather upholstery, paired with jet suede cloth and highlighted by red micro piping and red stitching, all tailored specifically for the GT. Along with that smart key entry system, push-button ignition is standard by the button in the center console. Opening the door, it automatically illuminates red and starts to pulsate like the car's beating heart. In order to start, make sure you have the key fob within the interior, put your foot on the brake, and then hold the button to go. Not much changes inside in terms of aesthetics. Like the RS, the GT also features an Alcantara-wrapped 3-spoke multifunction steering wheel with satin silver outlining the upper spokes, subtle chrome bits, and our logo embedded in the leather-trimmed bottom spoke. The GT still directs through a hydraulic speed proportional rack and pinion steering system, only the steering rack from the RS has been swapped out for the one found in the F-Type, benefiting from a faster 14.6:1 ratio and retuned steering valve. The Alcantara provides excellent grip as you would expect, essentially eliminating any possibility of your hands slipping off a slick leather surface when high-speed cornering. Firming up the steering in dynamic mode makes you feel even more connected. It goes exactly where you point it with great communication we've come to love from hydraulic steering setups. Of course, low-speed maneuvers are a cinch thanks to the extra boost provided via the speed proportional design. Sending power to the rear wheels through an electronically controlled limited slip differential is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Once you power on the vehicle, the chrome drive selector rises from the console. The knurled surface feels great to the touch, and to engage, just depress the brake and twist the dial. A reverse backup camera with adaptive guidance lines is standard. Sport mode, selected by twisting it to drive, pushing the dial down to the right once more, holds the lower gears longer for livelier acceleration in automatic mode. I of course had the most fun shifting it myself via the aluminum steering wheel paddle shifters. Simply tugging on a paddle engages manual mode. Behind the drive selector there's a collection of buttons that alter the way the XK performs. The button with the little car and snowflake is a winter mode that dampens acceleration and adds more traction assist during inclement weather and low grip scenarios. You can even disable traction control completely if you were to be so bold. The most significant though is the Jaguar dynamic mode with the checkered flag button. Pressing this remaps everything from throttle response, steering weight, and transmission shift response to their most aggressive settings. The changes are quite dramatic, especially when shifting up the paddles, where you can take full advantage of quicker shift times. In normal automatic mode, the car is relatively docile, geared more towards comfort with a bit more sound emitting at increased engine speeds. The transmission shifts smoothly and effortlessly, and while not quite as eager to shift as some newer dual-clutch offerings or the 8-speed automatic in the F-Type, it holds its own quite well and is extremely responsive. Of course, dynamic mode is an entirely different beast, which also opens up the dual-mode exhaust for one of the loudest and addictive exhaust notes I've heard in a while. Rev-matching downshifts are always accompanied by snarls and burbles as the car ramps up once again to roar its mighty roar and launch into the stratosphere. There's also an electronic parking brake. Pull up to activate, put your foot on the brake, push down to deactivate. And so let's go ahead and flip on the bi-xenon LED accented automatic headlamps and the hazards. Both windows are fully automatic. And we'll go ahead and check out the exterior. The XKR-S GT might as well be the last big hoorah for the current generation XK, which has been around since 2007 and is being faded out after the 2015 model year. Developed by Jaguar's Engineered to Order, or ETO division, and introduced for the 2014 model year, the GT is meant to be the ultimate track-focused variant of the road-going XK. Limited to just 30 units in North America, 12 of which made it to the United States, not to mention 10 for the UK, it's also one of the most exclusive models Jaguar has ever offered. This car is so rare, I honestly never thought I'd have the chance to get behind the wheel. Let me be the first to tell you, if you haven't realized it already, the GT is an absolute monster in the best possible way. Like the RS, it oozes the type of visceral and exciting experience that few cars are able to match. Sure, especially compared to the fantastic F-Type, the XK's certainly shown its age, but that doesn't mean it's any less special of a car. With the GT, Jaguar has basically created an icon, one of which that takes the best of new and old to deliver something truly unique. As we discussed with the XKR-S review, the body styling in general is far more aggressive, with a drop in ride height, unique fascias, side skirts, and underbody treatments. The GT's exterior takes aggression to a whole new level, blending elements you'd expect to find on a GT3 racer. It begins to set itself apart with a unique carbon fiber front splitter that wraps around the front fascia, extending forward by 2.3 inches in order to channel airflow around, over, and underneath the car. At the outer edges of the fascia are aggressive carbon fiber twin dive planes along with wheel arch extensions. Prominent side diffusers, also found in the RS, work to channel air around the tires to reduce turbulence before heading down the body, where the flared side sills enhance lateral stability at higher speeds. Below, an additional aluminum front valence helps smooth airflow as it passes underneath the car, not to mention diverting a portion of that air to enhance engine and brake cooling. The hood, like the RS, integrates twin nacelles in its leading edge, which work to feed more cool air to the engine compartment. Unlike the RS though, the GT features two banks of hood louvers rather than the smaller twin vents of the standard car. The concept remains the same, of course, enhancing cooling by extracting heat and reducing pressure buildup, but it's far more efficient. With the black highlights and RS GT logos, it looks positively sinister. Out back, there's a large carbon fiber diffuser to smooth underbody air as it exits, creating a Venturi effect that draws the car closer to the ground at speed. A huge carbon fiber rear wing works in tandem with an integrated deck lid spoiler to maximize downforce. But all these changes together and the GT develops 320 pounds of downforce at its top speed of 186 miles an hour or 300 kilometers per hour. Other carbon fiber components include the mirror caps, fender vents, and the strip above the license plate housing beneath the leaper. Like the RS, the GT comes standard with black exterior trim pieces, therefore the mesh upper and lower grills and window surrounds are black, aiding to a stealthy appearance. The dual-mode sport exhaust with staggered quad-polished tips provide a notable focus point to the rear, drawing eyes down to the diffuser. The GT benefits from a substantial suspension overhaul that takes a lot of inspiration from the F-Type, which was also introduced for 2014. Changes from the RS include front and rear suspension arms, uprights, wheel bearings, bushings, and rear subframe, with an end goal of increasing lateral suspension stiffness for greater precision and enhanced vehicle responsiveness on the track. One of the key elements is its new spring and damper module design, featuring a twin spring system that's coupled to the adaptive dynamics damping system that we highlighted earlier. What all this means is that the GT's ride height is adjustable. The front and rear spring rates are stiffer by 68 and 25% respectively, with track-tuned dampers for greater grip in corners and reduced body roll. The front track is wider by about 2 inches, while the rear remains the same. The XKR-S GT features a set of 5-spoke gloss black forged aluminum alloy wheels to reduce unsprung mass. Measuring 20 by 9 inches in front and 20 by 10.5 inches in the rear, they're wrapped in 255/35 and wider 305/60 high-performance Pirelli P0 Corsa tires respectively. With this setup, the car's been tested to hold up to 1 G of lateral acceleration. The GT was also the first production Jaguar to feature carbon ceramic brakes, which is now an option for the new F-Type R. In addition to providing superior fade resistance and durability, they're also larger than the standard RS brakes, which consist of 15-inch rotors in front and 14.8 inches in the rear. The GT's internally ventilated and cross-drilled discs measure 15.6 inches in front, paired with 6-piston monoblock aluminum calipers, while the rear 15-inch rotors are paired with 4-piston calipers. With this setup, the GT was tested to stop from 60 miles an hour in 103 feet, about 7 feet or so shorter than the RS. A preload system automatically engages when you lift off the throttle for more immediate deceleration. The carbon ceramics also shave a hair over 46 pounds of unsprung weight, increasing agility and responsiveness to really take advantage of its stiff body structure. As we've discussed, the GT builds upon the independent double wishbone suspension found in the RS, itself featuring revised aluminum steering knuckles for a 23% increase in camber stiffness and reduced unsprung mass, not to mention the drop in ride height, stiffer upper mounts for the rear suspension, and other tweaks here and there. The Jaguar Adaptive Dynamic System was specifically calibrated for the GT and features unique damping and tuning. Surprisingly, the GT does ride a lot better than you'd think. The car is still on the heavy side, as it's more of a grand tourer than a sports car, and it does feel firmer than the RS, but it's not punishing by any means. The adaptive dampers still keep an appreciable level of comfort on smooth roads. Overall length is 188.7 inches with a width of 74.5 inches and a height of 51.6 inches, riding on a 108.3 inch wheelbase. Total curb weight for the GT is around 3,977 pounds. The GT is powered by the same all-aluminum 5-liter V8 found in the RS, featuring a Roots-type twin vortex supercharger nestled within the cylinder banks that's fed by twin intercoolers, delivering up to 10.2 psi of boost. You'll likely notice the engine is not covered up like it is in the RS and XKs, but proudly on display. The dual overhead cam 4 valves per cylinder layout also benefits from spray-guided direct injection and dual independent variable cam timing. It develops an impressive 542 horsepower or 550 PS at 6,000 RPM, and 502 pound-feet of torque at 2,500 RPM with a compression ratio of 9.5 to 1 and a redline of 6,800 RPM. That's an increase of 40 horsepower and 41 pound-feet of torque over the XKR. All that power translates to a manufacturer-rated 0 to 60 time of 3.9 seconds and a top speed of 186 miles an hour. As far as fuel economy, with a 16.1 gallon holding tank and required premium fuel, expect a range between 15 miles to a gallon in the city and 22 on the highway, averaging somewhere around 17 miles to a gallon. The interior of the GT, like the RS, is as loaded as it gets for the XK lineup, featuring the highest degree of premium leathers and materials for a truly unique and exclusive feel. Everywhere you touch is soft leathers, accented by color accent double stitching and piping, and all in all it feels tailored, well put together, and sumptuous. Signature to the GT are the carbon effect leather portions across the doors. You also have carpeted portion down below with lower storage, not to mention high gloss black piano veneer housings for your power windows, power mirrors, and power seat controls. The Jaguar Performance seating features 16-way power adjustment, including everything from adjustable lateral support to 4-way power lumbar and thigh support. Sure, they're on the firm side, but offer a fantastic amount of lateral support and are really surprisingly comfortable for a race-inspired seat, with just the right amount of padding where it counts the most. The flared upper backrest is a cool visual touch, incorporating vestigial ports for racing harnesses and a fixed headrest. The Performance seating is also available on the new F-Type. Continuing through, you have unique aluminum door entry guards, logoed floor mats, and polished pedals. The steering wheel is power tilting, telescoping, and the dash is entirely wrapped in leather, both the top and the bottom. You have your trunk, fuel cap release located on the bottom left-hand corner, fog lamps, and interior lighting dimmer. The GT also gets a unique suede cloth headliner versus the RS's leather headliner. So let's go ahead and see how she sounds. So let's go ahead and quickly go over media and infotainment features. For an in-depth look at all the features and functionality of the XK's interior, check out the link in the top right hand corner of the video or the link in the description box below. The GT comes standard with a premium Bowers & Wilkins audio system pushing 525 watts through 8 speakers and 7.1 channel surround sound architecture. While a bit outdated compared to newer systems, the DVD-based navigation system is easy to see and use thanks to a 7-inch touchscreen. It features a 6-disc in-dash CD changer, iPod auxiliary integration, in addition to HD and satellite radio. Build quality remains excellent and there's fantastic attention to detail. I love all of the red accents between the stitching and piping. Together with the aluminum trim and the black piano veneer, it gives a very sporty interior. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and shut her down. And we'll check out the rest of the vehicle. If you're looking for the added practicality, the coupe is definitely the way to go. The large aluminum hatch out back stows around 11.7 cubic feet of cargo space, which is significantly more than what you would find in the convertible, being that the convertible obviously takes up room for the mechanical top. It's all lined in soft, plush carpeting with a flat loading space and low lift height. Underneath the trunk floor is actually an extra cargo space, so you can stow some extra items. You do have a bit of extra visibility out the back as well, not to mention a cargo privacy cover to keep everything secure and away from hot rays of the sun. The passenger seat features the same power adjustments like you have on the driver's seat, also located on the door. You have a locking glove box down below, all wrapped in leather. It has a pretty decent amount of space, lined in soft touch material and has illumination. With 2015 being the final year for the XK lineup, the RS and GT sure does send it out with a bang. A fantastic performance combination that carries such a unique blend of refined aggression. If you're ever fortunate enough to be able to drive one, it'll be one drive you'll not soon to forget. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the Jaguar XKR-S GT. Be sure to stay tuned next time, there's a lot more where that came from. Take care everybody.